Mr. Hand here. Personally, I think the topic of the state of game is, it is one which needs to be addressed. See, things have been going, the 7th generation, things have been kind of going okay-ish, but they're starting to show a little bit of a decline. And what I mean by this is, the first problem is that developers are starting to take the achievement thing a little bit too far. See, they're starting to cater to what they kind of achievements they think gamers may want. If they don't want to make something too hard, otherwise gamers will complain that the achievements are too hard to get and they can't get their platinum or, you know, whatever. This is a little bit dangerous, I think, because what's more, while I do admit I enjoy unlocking them sometimes, they're not more important than the game itself being enjoyable. That's the first problem. Second problem, although it's just one company, it's a major one. Capcom. Gone down the shitter. Big time. I don't know what the fuck their problem is. Enofane leaves and they decide to destroy his legacy by canceling all things Mega Man. That was one of the best series gaming ever heard of. And not to mention, they're not doing particularly well with other things. You know, that undeletable save in Resident Evil for the 3DS. Okay, that's a line that should never, ever be crossed. So that's the second thing. Capcom, downward. Anyway, third thing. State of Sony and Nintendo right now. Sony's getting a little better. Nintendo, at the rate it's going right now, it's going to be just like Sega, a third-party company. I do not want that. And if this is going the way it looks like it's going to go, could mean Microsoft will dominate the industry. And gosh, if for those of you who lived through the PC revolution, or whatever the fuck you would call it, where Microsoft dominated the PC world and subjugated everything else out and monopolized it, and now we're stuck with all these glitchy, slow-crawling Windows programs and shit. For those of you who experienced all that, you know what this means for the state of gaming if that happens. So that's the third thing. Microsoft. They might, as I pretty much thought they were going to do from the time they announced the original Xbox, they might just turn the game industry into shit. Now, we don't know that. We'll have to see. Fourth thing. DLC is starting to prove to be the one thing everyone feared it would be. And that's where they just start to nickel and dime gamers to death. They release half the game, and then they just start to release the other half for, say, an average of another $60 over DLC, rather than including all the content in the game itself. I'm for DLC if it means they can add content to the game later, but that's if it's used right. And it's starting to look like it's maybe not going to be used right. So, fourth thing is DLC. And fifth thing is related. And that's having to do with online connectivity. Now, a certain company, which shall remain nameless, decided to make all their games subscription-based, whether they're actually MMO games or not. Yeah, I think that speaks for itself. Games requiring online connectivity can do that easily. And I don't know. These sorts of things, I think, are destroying gaming. What do you think? Post your comments down there.